Hello and welcome everybody back to another Trophy Hunter gaming video, and we're back with our Let's Platinum on Pathologic 2. Now this is the start of day 3. So first of all we're going to leave Aspitti's Hospice and we're going to make our way through the steppe, through the cemetery and down into the old village, which is situated right at the very bottom of the map. Now we're going to do this because we're going to go and pick some herbs ready for the cure that we'll be working on for the plague over the next 3 in-game days. So it's best to go herb picking at night because, as you can see here, the herbs do glow. You see these little firefly looking things above each of the herbs. So they are a lot easier to see at night. And this isn't the main spot, but we're going to pick some up here as we go down to the old village anyway, because all the extra herbs will come in handy. As you can see, we're getting some blood twire, some brown twire, and they're the main herbs that we're going to be needing. So here we are at the old village, or Sheken as it's currently known. Now here there will be a water barrel which, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't get infected. I think you can pretty much use this throughout the whole of the game, whereas all the other water barrels and the water pumps will become infected throughout each of the districts. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to go and grab ourselves some water, fill up any empty bottles that we've got. And now here you're going to see patches of black twire, brown twire and blood twire. There's about 5 to 6 herbs in each patch. Now these are the main ones that we're going to be needing. So you've got a patch over here just by this tent. And if we move around the tent and through these ones, we should find, here we go, some blood twire on the floor here. Again, there's 4 or 5, or maybe even 6. I can't remember how many there are. There we go, and just ahead should be our brown twire. Now these will respawn daily, and it's a good little place to come for these herbs because they've got everything you need, as I've said. The only thing is it's a bit time consuming to get all the way down to the bottom of the map. But with that done, we're going to go and head back to the Haruspex lair, and we're going to start brewing some more tinctures. So here we are back at the Haruspex lair. First of all, I'm going to want to check our cupboard. I'm going to grab any water and any herbs that we've got left over. There we go. And then we're going to head to this Alembic here and we're going to start mixing herbs. Now there are different herb combinations which will make different tinctures. I'm not going to go into that in too much detail in this video. I may make a video separately explaining all about that. But for now we're just going to be making excess tinctures that we possibly may need. It's always good to have multiple tinctures of each kind on hand. So with that done, looks like we've made 3, 5 and 1. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to sort out the inventory and we'll be back in a second. Okay, now I also want to start grabbing these chisels and grindstones simply for these scalpels here. Now these scalpels are going to be really important for what's going to be coming up, because we are going to be working in a hospital. And if we go over to Sticky here, this is where we can upgrade our inventory, but I don't think we've got the required items. So as you can see there, we're going to need a pin, some thread, and I think that's like a cape, and that just gives you more slots in your inventory. But what I want to do here is I want to upgrade our scalpel. So any weapons like knives, guns, scalpels, etc., they can be all upgraded here. We've got all the things we need for upgrading the scalpel fully. So there we go. And I'm going to want to put the rest of my grindstones whenever back, sort out this inventory, and we'll be back in a second. So with the inventory sorted, pretty much good to go. Now here, this is the Alembic, which we're going to be needing to use organs with our tinctures to make the potions. And as you can see, we're just missing a toolkit for that, which we asked Sticky to get before. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to rest up. And because it's not 7:30, it's not officially the start of day 3 yet. Which it is now. And there we go, day 3, in which the alarm bell tolls. So it's going to give us new points of interest, new quest markers every single day. Now there are certain quests that will last a couple of days, other quests will not last. They will last like for a certain day, you'll have a certain amount of time. So we've also got these children's stash markers to complete, and our first point of call for day 3 will be to go and see Lara. So I'm going to go ahead and rest up again, and we should be getting another dream. Now this is the dream for day 3. It is the Herb Bride dream, and it's a pretty weird one. Now also, once you've gone into a dream sequence, it does not actually advance time. The time will stay exactly where it was, but you do need to sleep, and we do need to get these dreams on each particular day. Some dreams may happen at different times for you than they happen for me, but as long as we get all the dreams, then we'll be sweet with the trophy. So I'm just going to take a few tinctures along with us on the way, just in case. Now you can split your tinctures by pressing the square button, so I'm not going to bore you with all that. We will cut and we will get back to the game once I've sorted these tinctures out. There you go. I want to keep at least 3 Yas tinctures, simply because the Yas tinctures were the ones that created the cure in my previous playthroughs. So we're going to keep 3 of them on hand at least. And there's no Herb Bride up here, so on we go to Lara. So if we head to Lara's place, we're going to go over. She's going to be in the same place where she always is, in her little office. And we're going to speak to her. Now during this part of the conversation, in a second, you're going to want to choose the answer that I choose on the screen, because we need to get all 3 of the characters. We need Lara, Grief and Ruben to meet at the step later on in day 3. So if you choose the answer, perhaps the 4 of us should meet today, then this will trigger what we need for the trophy. And then we're going to want to say that we arrange everything. It's the only answer we can give. And now that's going to trigger our next quest, which will be to go and see the rest of the characters, Grief and Ruben, and you'll be able to see them by these markers here on the map. So the first person we're going to want to go and see is Grief, so we're going to head on down there. So a nice little place to visit as well, in the warehouses, is the little shop here. Now, shops will refuse to trade with you depending on your reputation throughout that district. But this shop here, no matter what your reputation, it will always trade with you. And you can get some pretty good items here, food, and later on they'll be able to offer you some weapons. So it's always worth a visit. I'm going to be picking up some food here because food does become really, really expensive and really, really scarce later on. So we'll now go and see Grief in his warehouse, and we're going to want to persuade him to meet us at the basket later on. So you basically want to just choose the options which are hinting at getting together. If you choose the options I choose, you should have no problem. So we're going to want to talk to Grief again. We're going to want to get a bit of information from him, and we're going to learn a little bit about Fat Vlad. And he's also going to mention about the Termitry, which will become pretty significant in the coming days. Right, so now that we've spoken to Grief, it's time to leave. And we're going to get confronted by this kid here. And basically Fat Vlad is going to want to speak to us about our old home. So we're definitely going to go and check that out. On the way, we're going to do a bit more trading with the kids. We should have enough random little items that we've picked up from the treasure chests to trade away. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Because remember, every single thing that we trade with the kids, it's going to help towards our tag trophy. So outside Fat Vlad's place, you're going to find a group of workers. Now, you don't have to speak to them, but I'm speaking to them simply for story's sake. It doesn't really matter what you tell them. You're just going to get a bit of information about what's going on with the factory and how everything's starting to shut down now because plague is literally on its way. So Fat Vlad's place, you can also sleep here and save. We're going to want to head through and speak to Fat Vlad. And we're going to speak to him about getting access to our old house, or our father's house. But he's basically going to say he can't do anything, but the Canes can. So that's going to be our next point of call.
A sound steward doesn't fear mice. He doesn't fear anyone.
So you'll see that Georgie Kane is right over here by the cathedral. So we're going to go and head over there as our next part. We'll also find Reuben there in the Crucible, which is like a little housing apartment where they all live. But as soon as we walk out, we're going to get confronted by another kid who's going to tell us that Patches is seriously ill and he wants us to go and look after him. But we will go and look at him, not just yet though, so we're going to say give us a bit of time to brew something up and then we'll go see him. So again, we're going to trade with some more kids that we see in the street here. It's the usual stuff, medicines, fingernails, anything of that type of nature. So here we are at the Crucible now, and there are three separate parts to this. The first part we're going to go to is like the middle part, where we'll find Reuben at the top of these stairs here. And again, we're going to want to convince Reuben, who's the final of the three friends that we need to convince to reach the Apple Road, or the basket, or whatever they called it. Now Reuben also is going to become very, very important over these next few days. There'll be a lot of quests revolving Reuben, so any that we find we have to follow through with, otherwise Reuben will not make it past day 6. I think it's at the end of day 3, specifically through day 4 and 5. A lot of the story is going to revolve around Reuben. Here's Maria, who's basically kicking us out of the house. We can go back in there, because we're going to need to speak to her at another point as well, in regards to another trophy, but when we get to that I'll let you know. But for now we're going to want to go and see Georgie Kane, and the Kanes are basically the money behind this town. Everything that happens goes through them, and we're going to learn a little bit more about them. And we're also going to learn a little bit more about the polyhedron, which is that big massive scorpion looking statue that's built. We don't get to access that until day 8, I believe. I did forget to mention that we don't get to see Georgie Kane until we spoke to Victor Kane.
If you look at the night sky from the roof of the still water, you can see its true color.
That door's locked, and there is a side entrance, and so we're going to go and speak to Georgie Kane, the old guy here. He's the judge, and he's going to ask us if we're Artemi Borach, which we are, and we're basically just going to ask him why we're here, and he's pretty much just going to give us the house, no questions asked. It's pretty much, can I have my house back? Yeah, of course you can. Here you go, here's the keys. So visiting our house will be next on our list. So we've got a few more things to do in the next video. We've got patches to go and see, and we've got our house to go and sort out. So I'm going to save the game here, and I'm going to leave the video here for now. And thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, then please drop it a like. It really does help out. And if you haven't already, then also subscribe for more trophy content. Thank you all for watching. Take care.